Hello, hello. I'm trying a new to me flavor today. I've actually had a couple of bites of this already, but trying it for the first time for the channel. It is a Ben & Jerry's topped flavor. I don't think these are brand new, but they've not been around super long. This one is tiramisu. It is mascarpone ice cream with coffee fudge swirls and shortbread cookies, topped with chocolatey ganache and espresso fudge chunks. And the description: there are so many layers to this mascarpone masterpiece, from the espresso-laced fudge flakes embedded in rich ganache topping to the captivating coffee character of the fudge swirls. We'd say this pick-me-up of a flavor is top tiramisu. Top tiramisu, right. So fun play on words there. I have had several topped flavors from Ben & Jerry's, and I really don't like them. I feel like it's a waste. You're not really getting a full pint. This one, I also was disturbed when I opened it. I'm going to show you. Whoops. I don't know if you can see, but it almost looks on the edges here like it melted, and then this chocolatey piece, this sort of layer, moved more to the center of the container, and those outer areas have been like refrozen. The layer of, I guess, ganache on the top is really thin, which is interesting. I actually prefer a thinner layer. You may not like that. I don't want to dig and have to just force my spoon down into the container to get ice cream. So this one didn't do that as much because the layer is somewhat thin. So anyway, let's get into it. The main scent here is the chocolate, the fudge. It kind of takes away from the other scents there. You don't really smell the coffee or anything else. So that layer is super thick in some areas, weirdly, but most areas it's quite thin. I don't know if that had to do with this pint opening as well. I guess it's not a pint. Anyway, I don't know what exactly happened, but there's parts of it that feel like they don't look how they're supposed to. So I'm not sure if you would have a different experience in your pint. Dang it, in your container. I keep defaulting to Ben & Jerry's is always a pint, but again, these topped flavors are not. They're 15.2 ounces. So certainly that fudge is really rich, that top layer. I just got some of that in my bite. And that's kind of overwhelming. So I'm not really tasting much else, but there is a little bit of the ice cream itself has, I think, the espresso. No, it's the coffee fudge swirls. That's kind of a strong flavor too. So that's coming through really strong with the bites that I've had of this. And I like it. I really like coffee ice cream. That coffee fudge is really good. It also works really well with the ganache. And the ganache also has espresso fudge chunks on top of it, in addition to the chocolate layer, which is fun. A little bit more coffee flavor. I'm enjoying that. Although mine definitely seems freezer burnt, which hopefully yours will not be. So once you've gotten through that ganache layer, the espresso flavor is pretty overpowering. I don't really taste the mascarpone. I haven't seen any shortbread cookies. I don't know why that is, but they must be kind of lightly distributed. I did get a shortbread cookie. I don't think it's working well. I don't think the texture is translating super well. This one feels really hard to review because I do think that there's some freezer burn that has impacted my experience with this. But, pushing that aside for a minute, I did just get a bite that had less of the coffee swirl, the espresso, what is it called? Coffee fudge swirls. And I was able to taste that mascarpone base better. And I really am mostly getting a vanilla flavor, so I'm not really sure about mascarpone. I think there's a lot going on in this that makes it interesting. I think if I didn't have this freezer burn situation, this would be a lot more appealing. I really like the coffee fudge swirls and the ice cream. I actually don't mind the ganache as much as I do with other flavors I've had from Ben & Jerry's topped line. I think it's probably up there as far as my favorite of the topped variations I've had. I also like Whiskey Biz, which is I think a Target exclusive flavor, but I don't like that their ganache is white chocolate. Not a white chocolate fan, but I think this has a lot of potential. I don't think I would get it again. I get too annoyed at the topped part of it. I think there's better coffee ice cream options out there. I'm especially partial to the Irish cream brownie flavor from Haagen-Dazs, but this is not bad. Certainly you'd need to be a coffee fan, but chocolate comes through too. So if you really like coffee and fudge, I'd say give this one a whirl. I've not really had tiramisu before. I've not had a lot of it. If I have had it, I can't remember. So I don't know how to compare it to that, but I'd say it's a decent ice cream. I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. Let me know what you think.